Study session started. We're going to have a public hearing on an agenda item on May 4th relative to the street sweeping program.
Actually, June 4th it'll be, right?
That's what I said. Did I say?
You said May 4th.
May 4th. June 4th. Thank you for the correction.
Go back in time.
President Hudson.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, there are Commissioner Deeds. I have number items 10 through 14. We reviewed our items with the chiefs the other day. If anybody has any questions, otherwise these are ready to go.
Oh, you don't have a pen?
I do.
Okay, thank you. Those items are ready. Councilor Rudds.
So, yeah, for item 15, we'll need to go to executive session. Item 16, if there's no questions, I think that one is ready. Any questions? And then item 17, if there's no questions, that one's ready as well. Okay, thank you.
Councilor Green.
Yep, so number 18 is a resolution in favor of the Main Street Employee Ownership Act. So if there's no questions, I think that one is ready as well. Thank you, Mr. Majority Leader.
Councilor Kearney.
All right, thank you, Mr. Majority Leader. I have items 19 through 36, and I believe all of those are ready unless there are any further questions from anyone on the council. No? All right.
I'm going to handle Councilor Ryan's today. He has items number 37 through 47.
Something has to be held for the June 4th meeting.
37, I'm informed, has to be held for the June 4th voting session. 38. Yep. Could you come up and give us a? Sure. And I want to say at this time I'm of the understanding that Kyle is leaving city employment, and we want to thank you, or I personally want to thank you for all the work you've done for the city and with your knowledge in that. Thank you.
Thanks, Kyle.
I appreciate it. Thank you, councilors. It's been a pleasure working with you, and thank you for your support and making sure that parking garages remain safe and structurally sound. We appreciate it. As part of the ongoing efforts to make that happen, this item 38 is part of an ongoing effort that we've had to modernize our rates and right price our parking. We've come to you several times over the last couple of years to modify our rates to make sure that they're in line with the rest of the market based on supply and demand and the number of spaces we have available. This raises rates at 2 facilities, $5 to $10 a month for monthly parkers only. Those facilities are beginning to fill up, and we feel that right now is an opportunity to increase those rates to not only make some additional money for the city, but again, just to right price our parking. So we'd appreciate your support.
And I asked this question before, but I just want to ask it once again specifically to you. When we increased fees initially before, were these increased as well, these parking garages that we're voting on to increase? Will this be the second increase?
Can you define what you mean by second increase?
Well, did we previously increase a number of the parking garages? Were these 2 that we're increasing on this vote, or will be increasing, were they included in that increase from I believe, what was it, maybe like 6 months ago?
So the last time we made an adjustment to parking garage rates was approximately a year ago. They went into effect in July of 2017. At that point, we raised prices at 3 facilities. One of them was the Fayette Street Garage. This does raise rates there for an additional $5 per month for monthly users. We also are seeing a $10 raise at the Washington Street Garage for this item, which was not part of the raise that happened about a year ago. Prior to that, we did raise rates pretty much across the board at our facilities. They were badly outdated. That was back in 2015, and that kind of really got us up back to where they needed to be, and we've been since tweaking them kind of on a yearly basis, doing an annual review to see if we're in line with the rest of the market. We feel that these do that.
And Kyle, I know
Yes.
when we go back to 15, so when we raised the rates in 15, when we had the conversation, a lot of it was to actually replace and repair a lot of the operating equipment, like the arms and things like that. So is all of that done now?
So I think what you're referring to is the program that we did in 2015 to replace our parks equipment. It's our parking access and revenue control systems. That's the gates, the arms, the fee computers, etc. That work was completed in
In
2015.
all of the garages?
That's correct, yes, Counselor. I think it's important to differentiate the two, however. While parking garage rate increases are helpful in increasing the bottom line for the city, we don't see a direct dollar-to-dollar transition back into the parking garages. The money goes into the general fund, and then we have to request money from you for capital funding. So we're not able to directly attribute these raised incomes back into the parking facilities. But that said, with your support, we have been able to invest significant sums over the last several years to make sure that that equipment's upgraded, as well as other safety and structural improvements. Any other questions, councilors?
Thank you, Kyle. Item 39 is the agreement for the truck. Any questions? Items 40 through 47 are yearly purchases the Department of Public Works makes. We went over these. If anybody has any questions, the commissioner's here. Okay, hearing none. Councilor Boyle.
Thank you. I have item number 48 and 49 with the support of the rest of the council. I'm going to call them both ready.
Okay, thank you. Councilor Bay will be handling Councilor Allen's.
Thank you, Mr. Majority Leader. Councilor Allen has items 50 through 64, I believe. 65, and then she has 3 waiver items. I believe all her items are ready. The only one she was holding was 61. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if there's any questions relative to that. And Commissioner, you don't have to move if there's no updates on any land bank properties. Okay. So no questions. I'll call all those items with the exception of 61 ready. And then, as mentioned, she has waiver items 66 through 68. I believe we had some information on these last week. Commissioner.
Good afternoon, councilors. Item 66 is amending the lease agreement with Elmcrest Children's Center for the Westmoreland Park facility. The council had approved that some months ago, and this is just amending it due to the lapse in time. And the other two are just changes in the descriptions on some request letters for land bank properties.
412 Craddock Street is the big house. That was a demolition? Was that demolished? Yes. By the land bank or by the city? Or do we know what happened to that property?
It's
Hi, Megan Ryan from the Law Department. I believe it was demolished by the city through a court order, but I can double check on that.
That's a big house? Okay.
Any further questions?
no questions?
Thanks, Commissioner.
Okay,
Those items are ready.
thank you. We have to go back to item number 15 because we'll be going into executive session. So I move that we go into executive session for the purpose of legal advice relative to item number 15 from the Corporation Council. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Okay. Not for that one.